สวัสดีครับ Greetings from Bangkok once again, Kasit Piromya, on the 1st of the month of August 2026, which is a few days after one of the most important days of Buddhism, namely the Asaraha Bucha Day, which this year occurred on the 29th of July, a few days ago. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my views, understanding, and observations a bit on the teachings of Buddhism. I am not a Buddhist expert, but however, I would also like to share some views and perspective. Hopefully that it will be useful to you, all of you, to contemplate and maybe to take some points to be part of your conduct of everyday life. The uniqueness and significance of Buddhism in general and Buddhism teachings in particular is the fact that it has lasted almost 2,600 years in a very uninterrupted manner. And Buddhism is slowly spreading through peaceful means from the Asian continent to other continents of the world at large. What has been very outstanding and significant about the spread of Buddhism was the fact that it was done peacefully, without being antagonistic to the other sets of belief, without using force to coerce other people to come in and join Buddhism. And Buddhism, the very nature of it, is a religion of peace and harmony. The basic teachings of Buddhism, the 5 precepts of avoiding the killing, stealing, misconduct in sexual activities, not saying bad words, telling lies, and to refrain from intoxication and so on, could be construed that this is a set of precepts, of recommendations for each human being to conduct itself in a very disciplinary manner. And if everyone conducts himself or herself accordingly, the community or the society as a whole will be living together in peace and harmony. Avoidance of all the wrongdoings and misconducts is one thing, but concurrently or simultaneously, the teachings of Buddhism also tell every Buddhist to have loving kindness, metta, to be compassionate to fellow human beings, karuna, mudita, to have sympathetic joy for fellow human beings, and ubekha, or equanimity, that is to remain impartial, not to have a life of extremes, activities, or to be too emotional in everyday's conduct behavior, thinking and thoughts, and so on. The other basic teachings of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths, is like an academic curriculum, or we can even say that it's scientific, because it is logical. It talks about the existence of humankind surrounded by sufferings, uncertainty, dissatisfaction. But it also tells about the causes of this unhappiness and discontentment. And it gives the hope that sufferings can be overcome. Human beings have the ability to liberate themselves from all the sufferings. But it's not only just simply to say that it can overcome sufferings, but there is a way, there is a path, a combination of 8 factors: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right efforts, right mindfulness, and right concentration or inner inspection of the mind. So in that sense, it is logical. In that sense, it is scientific. And on top of that, Buddhism gives utmost importance to the human beings, the ability or the capacity to liberate themselves from all the sufferings. Human beings are self-dependent. Human beings do not have to be dependent on the gods, on the spirits, on the natural phenomenon. Human beings do not have to be dependent on rituals or practice like human sacrifices and so on. Human beings only have to be dependent on themselves to liberate themselves from all the sufferings and to reach the inner peace in perpetuality. There is therefore the notion of belief and confidence in the ability of all mankind to be able to live a life away or above sufferings. That is a very positive outlook towards the humankind. Human beings are their own masters. Human beings are the cause and consequences of their own doing. There is no need to blame the gods, the spirits, or the natural phenomenon. There is no need to be dependent on the on the spiritual beings and all of this. It's only for the human beings to be dependent on themselves, to have the self-confidence, and to conduct a life of discipline and be kind towards fellow human beings. The other thing that is important on this Asaraha Bucha Day, not only because the Buddha had given the first sermon to 5 disciples, but there was the ordination of the first sets of Buddhist monks. With the Buddha, with the Dhamma or the teachings, and with the presence of the monkhood, then the 3 jewels of Buddhism have been set in place 2,569 years ago. And these three jewels still remain in the hearts and consciousness of all the Buddhists. The continuity of Buddhism, the continuity of a set of beliefs that looks for inner peace and social harmony. And hopefully, the teachings of Buddhism, which is open to everyone. Everyone can join in the teachings of Buddhism. Everything is inclusive. There is no exclusion. There is no discriminatory practices. Everyone can come in and have a look. This is a very liberal thinking indeed. And the teachings, if they were to be adopted by the international community, I am sure that peace would be the order of the day and not conflicts and war. So let's have a look at the teachings and try to put them into practice. Everyone is most welcome. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณมากครับ